We finna fish, I guess we find a Negro. Y'all be faker than placebos, throwing shots like Tebow. And if we ever take a shot, just know that it's a free throw, it's a free throw. They don't want no smoke, nah, they don't want no smoke. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. Been about the power, you can call me Ghost. Tryna stop with me, boy, what you thought this shit was sweet, boy? We be teaching like Messiah, give me that and Obadiah. He gon' set this place on fire, then come set up his empire. They be high, wearing wires, switching up like this survivor. I'm a soldier, Bible on my holster. I wanna build you up, but if you stop, then I'm a forger. But I'd rather keep it kosher, like I told you. Give all praises to Jehovah. Breaking sense on my aroma, meditate while we take over, we take over. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. They don't want no smoke, nah, they don't want no smoke. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. Been about the power, you can call me Ghost. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. Been about the power, you can. 144 Thanos, we was snapping to the change road. Warrior mode like Django. Build a kingdom like Lego. Vanity, vanity, what was all vanity? Lord, give me power to burn out my enemies. Vanity, vanity, what was all vanity? Wisdom like Solomon, fight like the Maccabees. They don't want no smoke, nah, they don't want no smoke. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke, nah, they don't want the smoke. Been about the power, you can call me Ghost.
Let me hear you in the front, how about in the back? Can I hit a middle too? Can I get it? Yeah. Can I hit you in the front, how about in the back? Can I hit a middle too? Can I get it? Yeah. Okay. Check. I'm gold tried in the fire, became a man through adversity. I blamed it all on the devil, found out the Lord's curse me. Swallowed up by false doctrines in the cares of the world. But when he sent his prophets early, I had to marry that girl. He see the kingdom is within, so you know we show out. These heathens trying to keep score, but it's a blowout. Now we all on one accord, got them checking us out, cause we the smell of death to them, man, they know we bout. We see the king in a kingdom, a country. A few good men to wage war with his hunky. You looking comfy while we out here painting the streets with our blood, sweat, and tears till this truth make us free. It's wartime. Man, I got that gas face on. Grab a baby, eat a mic, then I smash that stone. Am I wrong? Psalms 137 verse 9 is the scripture that I took my son to bed in. Let me hear you in the front, how about in the back? Can I hit a middle too? Can I get it? Yeah. Can I hit you in the front, how about in the back? Can I hit a middle too? Can I get it? Yeah.
A day closer. A day closer. Let's show an example, cause our nation is strong. They put us sardine in jail, solo in a box. I ponder, what is the way and how do it stop? It's been a Bible all along, humbling every thought. Soldiers of Christ, protecting true Israelites. Eat them, scratching their lives. I spy kingdom heights. Soon to come we endure. You won't see cowardice. All you see is our light, cause the law is our life. It's the way we keep peace and the way that we fight. Hardly keep me a peace, the Lord strengthen my right. It's a battle at hand, I flip through scripts every night. Prophets prophesying boldly in the power of his might.
Let me hear you in the front, how about in the back? Can I hit a middle too? Can I get it? Yeah. Can I hit you in the front, how about in the back? Can I hit a middle too? Can I get it? Yeah.
But remember, right? Remember when I got these? They're a little more than a year old, right? Remember when I got them? Because I said I liked them. So I got them. I like the shape. So my eyes, they were already doing it. But I can tell, because how many times have I worn them in the last year? Not often. So I can tell it's significant decline since the last time in the last month. Yeah. I'm getting old. I'm needing glasses. Hey, I saw a sharp decline.
Shalom, brothers, shalom, sisters. Finally, after a month and a half, whatever it's been,
6 weeks.
y'all are tuned in the scripts.
Reloaded.
All praise to the Most High. Y'all give a hand clap for yourself, man. We back. We back. Thank the Lord.
Yes, sir.
Woo! So that was late, but I appreciate you. So thank the Lord that, all the brothers are here. I think probably most of us ended up getting sick with that vid, Rona, whatever you want to call it. But all praise to the Most High, we made it through. I know a lot of the body was sick, but everybody made it through, so all praise to the Most High for that. Right. But with that, a lot has come out over the last couple of weeks. So I know we're going to end up having to do a part 2 of tonight's show. All right, so we're going to jump straight in because we got a lot going on. Go ahead, officer.
Yes, sir. The title to tonight's show is The Fourth Beast, Currency Shortages and Diseases. So we're going to go into what we're seeing around the world because we should be watching and praying always on what's going on.
And this was heavily inspired by Deacon Malachi's class a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, about economic collapse. He saw manipulating the economy and how he's moving right now. Everything what Deke brought out, and he was in the spirit. He's seen the Most High is dealing with him. The Most High is dealing with the bishops, all the deacons, to be able to bring that out. And a couple of weeks later, we got the articles. We have turn to whatever technical word is. The sound weird in there.
The highs or whatever.
Yeah, the highs. Turn the highs down, to the lows.
The highs down.
It's a big echo in here.
Yeah.
It's an echo.
With that, what did I say?
You were saying that I brought out a couple of weeks, what he brought out a couple of weeks ago, and about 2 weeks later, now we have the article dealing with.
Right. So now we're gonna bring out some additional sources to substantiate, not that we have to substantiate it, but additional information has come out to where we know where things are headed, and starting this year. At this point, we know it's starting this year. All right, there will be an economic collapse. All right, but first, in Negro news,
What we got?
y'all's boy, Jeezy the Snow. We can't call him Jeezy the Snowman.
No, I'm up. No,
we gotta call him Sneezy
Jeezy.
Jeezy the Snow. They, them,
Right.
we.
Right.
Don't call him Jeezy the Snowman.
Can't call him man no more.
Can't do that.
Nah.
Can't do that.
Jeezy the Snow. They, them, we, they, them, whatever.
That sounds crazy.
Jeezy the Snow.
The snow thing. That's all.
The snow fluent.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't make up the rules. That's what him and what's this chick name?
Moab.
Gina May. Yeah, Jenny May.
Jenny May. Okay,
Yeah,
Jenny May.
Damn.
So
Or Mai is the Jenny Mai.
Okay, Mai. So Jeezy the Snow, they and his wife Mai.
The hell is this?
I don't know. They just had a child, and they said that they're not going. Their child is genderless.
Right.
I guess it's too early to call it. Is it an article on this? What in the article was it? Just this
Yeah,
picture?
there's an article right behind it.
Yeah, pull that article.
Yep.
Yeah, pull that article up.
Jeezy and Janae or Jenny.
And it said, "Hey, Kashai, we've been gone for 6 weeks. You got
I'm
it?
good. I'm good. You know.
You good?
You nervous?
Come on now, dog. Jeezy and Janae allegedly plan to raise child gender fluid. Scroll on down. That's Jeezy the Snow. They right there. Picture of him.
That's them.
Yeah. Jeezy and Janae May have reportedly named their child Monaco.
Monaco.
Bruh. It's all good.
Okay. It's going to be a long night.
These are symptoms of COVID, that's what we're recovering over here, all praises. And the whole community of hip-hop and pop were ecstatic over the prospect of another royal baby being ushered into the culture. At present time, we have not identified whether or not the baby is a boy or a girl.
I don't think your mic is on.
Yeah.
Didn't we see in the previous picture the baby in pink with little spaghetti straps? Right there.
Well, no, that's not.
Yeah, somebody
that's
just
not
put
the
somebody.
kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just a
the-
meme.
This is
Right.
okay.
Newborn.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Hey, I thought that was a kid too. I thought it was a kid too.
Okay, so it said right below, it said, however, there are new developments in this regard. The rumor is that the proud parents are raising their baby gender fluid. So I wanted to make sure that I got this exactly right. So I looked up what gender fluid means. And this is the definition that I got. Gender fluidity refers to change over time in a person's gender expression or gender identity, or both. That change might be an expression, but not identity, or an identity, but not expression, or both expression and identity.
That's confusing. Like
It might change together. Yeah. When I read that, I was like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
I didn't know if you was reading it right now. I was gonna start reading along.
So what does that mean?
I'm confused.
It means they crazy as hell. That's what it means.
So gender identity. So
Get Proverbs 29:15.
Yeah, let's
touch that. Proverbs 29:15.
Scriptures will clear this up.
Yeah.
No doubt.
About gender fluidity. 29:15.
the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 15. The rod and reproof give wisdom.
So the rod and reproof, meaning not being afraid to discipline your child through spanking. It says it gives them correction. Go ahead.
But a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame.
But if you let your baby decide what their gender is going to be, the mama will be shamed. The mother will be shamed. You cannot leave a child to himself. You have to correct that child. So if you see a boy saying that he's a girl, you correct it. If you see a girl saying she's a boy, you correct it. There is no gender fluidity with the Bible.
It's another layer to this right here. It's not the child. It's the parents deciding that the child, they deciding his fate already, or his or her fate already. And adding that layer of confusion.
Yeah.
All praise.
So
And with the layer of confusion, what I see in the school system, these kids, they catch on to this. They understand that, oh, this is something that's taboo to adults trying to label, in modern day, labeling a kid's gender.
Right.
So they take that, and just like any other child, they see they got some level of power, and they manipulate it. So they like, well, that's sexist, that's racist. You don't know how many times I hear it up in the school.
Right.
They say anything's offensive because they understand that somebody thinks that this is really, serious.
Right.
So
What's amazing though is Jeezy the Snow Day would not have back in the day said that it was okay to be race fluid. Right. I mean, he spoke about the hardships of growing up in the hood. So imagine if an Edomite ran through the hood and just called him nigga. What, he's gonna say, hey, I haven't decided which one I am yet. When the cops pull him over, hey, I haven't decided which one I am yet. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's a stupid thought to let your kid decide what they are. If his mama named him Clay, I'm going to call him Clay.
Right. Here's another point. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's another point. Go to
Here's what it is.
Deuteronomy 7:3.
That's the.
Yeah, because
That's it. We got to touch the miscegenation.
Oh,
going
yeah.
on.
right.
Yeah.
Because before Yeezy met this chick, what race is he? I know she's some type of Asian. Moab, right?
Yeah.
All right, read what you got, bro.
the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
See, that's what he should have started with in the beginning. See, we got to come back to the Bible. Here's where we messing up. We ain't following the Bible, Yeezy. Read.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Keep reading.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
And that's what's going on. Because the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob said, I made man upright.
Right.
So if you're a male, then you're going to grow up to be a male.
Right.
And
That's
if you're
right.
a female, you're going to grow up to be a female. So how did he change? Because he got other kids.
Right.
And he didn't have a problem making him a boy
Right.
or making his daughter a girl. So why would he get with this other nation lady, right? Now he gender fluid.
You know why? She clamped that Kung Pao chicken down on it.
Hey, she turned that thing sideways and he ain't been the same since.
Hey, AV,
Kung Pao Musha. Yeah.
hey, AV, Google the definition of fluidity because there's something in there. Because when it comes to kids, people don't even let kids make small decisions. Like a regular adult don't let their kids choose what they're going to eat every single day.
Right.
Because they not able to make those decisions.
Right.
They'll make decisions like McDonald's every day and end up dead in a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now it comes to something like your whole gender. Because I read the third one, the third bullet.
Fluidity, the state of being unsettled or unstable.
That's the point. This little girl or boy, whatever it is going to be unstable. You got to think about that, bro. For 3 years, because they say identity is a big deal, right? Which we know it is. Identity obviously starts with your gender.
Right.
When you born, they say you got a 8-ounce boy or girl.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's the beginning of your identity.
Yeah.
8 ounces.
What do you
I
do?
don't know how the regular size.
What
the hell is this?
I don't know the regular size of a baby.
People said 8 ounces.
Right.
Come on now, y'all.
8 ounces.
Hey, let me get a scripture. Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, damn. I just thought about that. 8 ounces.
8 ounce baby.
Yeah.
Damn, that's it.
That's pretty.
Your baby weighed half a pound.
Premature.
Right. What was it, 2 weeks old?
The baby has fluidity. It's still changing.
Right.
He is pretty skinny, ain't he?
What
Very
the
much
hell?
Hey, let me get Ecclesiastes 7:29. Let me bring some wisdom to this from Solomon. See what he had to say about this.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 29. Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions.
And part of that inventions they sought out, now you can be whatever you want to be. Now the baby can choose what he wants to be.
Right.
But I want to say with this particular scenario, we got Jeezy is trying to, I don't know, maybe he's trying to do what the previous what was the elders before him? You know what I'm saying?
The Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Jay-Z, Beyonce. What was
this
the
is
other
the
ones?
new. This is the new level of it. Well, before they would just conceal the baby. So I guess this is the updated 2020 version of being a celebrity.
And with Dwayne Wade, what did they do to that boy? That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah, they
You know,
changed
that
him.
was crazy how they said he had a boy named Zion, and now what is his boy's name?
Zaya.
Come on now.
That's how they follow the God. See, they don't understand. They follow the God of right here in America. America's God. America got so many idols here, and they following their stuff, and it's turning them away from the Bible. They got to turn back because they far gone.
Hey, you know, the more I'm thinking about it, the more BS it is. Because let's say the baby was born a little girl, right? The mama not going to the bathroom saying, hey, you can either stand up or sit down. It's up to you. You make the decision. Hell no, she said sit down because you got these boys.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So
That's a hell of a point.
So Yeezy, he don't know what he got.
Jeezy.
Jeezy.
Jeezy, young Jeezy.
Yeezy is
He from
Kanye.
Detroit, yeah.
Young Jeezy.
Yeah.
Young Jeezy.
You know,
Whatever.
don't listen to rap.
Yeah,
right,
Jeezy
right.
up in Detroit.
He don't know what he got.
Right.
He don't know. So when we have sons, you be like, yeah, my son, he gonna be this and he gonna be that.
Right.
Right.
Yeezy, what you got?
You saying it's
No.
obviously
He can't have this conversation with a real man.
You saying it's obviously a girl. Then you say if it was a boy,
Well,
he'd be proud.
it's gonna turn out the way it's rolling. It's gonna turn out to be a girl, whether it's a girl or not.
Right.
Dang.
If you understand what I'm
Good
saying.
point, good point,
Right,
good point,
right.
yeah.
Because what it is, Jeezy wasn't like this before he met this woman. So she pulling more strings, just like Gabrielle Union came through. My man wasn't like that before.
No.
That's what happened when you start worshiping these women.
When you start worshiping
Right.
women.
And he what is he? Two-edged. He adding sin upon sin.
Adding sin upon sin.
Right. Get that in Wisdom of Solomon, and then we'll move on. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. You're going to read 22 and 23. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 22 and 23.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God. But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace.
So Jeezy is in a war of ignorance right now, just like the rest of our people here in Babylon the Great. The land of, the scripture says, in, to your point, Officer Shema, that he said in America, Israel, get it real quick, we're going mad upon our idols. Jeremiah 50, I think. Jeremiah chapter 50, read verse 38.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 38. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols.
God said here in Babylon the Great, this is the land of graven images, and we go mad upon our idols.
Wow.
America is full of idolatry.
Full of
idolatry.
And where's the bomb for that one?
So when you go back to Wisdom of Solomon 14,
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 23.
we're going to read some of the effects of idolatry when you go mad upon your idols.
For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices or used secret ceremonies
So that's going into your mass abortions here in America. Go ahead.
or made revelings of strange rites,
Come on.
they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled.
Our people do not keep their lives or their marriages undefiled, which is why they'll go into whoredom and marry other nations, and then you end up with gender fluid children. Or you'll be even if you marry Israel and you start worshiping the woman, which is idolatry.
Right.
You might as well be worshiping Diana.
D-Wade.
Then guess what? You end up with a gender fluid child. Whatever they get.
What a they be. What a they
Also,
be.
Another they.
With the keeping marriages undefiled, imagine that this thing was born a girl, but turns into a man, and 20 years get married to another woman.
Right.
Bro, that's confusing like a mug. Hey, in about 20 years, a lot of brothers gonna be wondering why they can't get their wife pregnant.
Yeah, bro.
Straight up.
Yeah, bro.
Hold up, what you say?
Bring that back. Run that back.
That was deep.
I can't say it again.
Yeah.
The Spirit of the Lord was upon me.
Hey, because he ain't going to know what he got.
Yeah, right.
He ain't going to know what you got.
Right.
Damn. I thought it was a
You
woman
gonna
this
let
whole
me see your
time.
birth certificate. It's gonna say N.A. or I don't know.
Right,
a day.
Hey, but that's crazy, and we're gonna move on. But that's a crazy, like that thought is heavy because look at how they scrub information from the internet now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine 20, 25 years from now, somebody not realizing that Zion became Zaya, and Zaya is now living as a full-blown female, and you know what I mean? And dudes is hollering at her, hollering at him.
You already see that.
Well, and I'm saying her because, you know,
Right.
down the line, living that way. But men start to holler at him, not realizing because it's
Right.
scrubbed from the internet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they put so much out. That's like, I can see that. That's
Right.
crazy.
That's scary.
Hey, but that's already going on. There's already some dudes that look like females all the way that had surgeries and stuff like that.
Oh, y'all the
You
rappers
can't
that
tell
slept
the
with
difference.
one.
I forgot the name. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
I can't tell the name, but
Yeah, all praises.
Last one on this point. Go back to Jeremiah 50. Read verse 40.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 40. As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof,
With fire,
saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein.
neither shall any son of man. Why? Because America is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's right.
The spirit of Sodom and Gomorrah is here in America. That's why God prophesied. Read it again.
As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah
Just like he overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah by fire.
and the neighbor cities thereof,
Uh-huh.
saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there.
So today, not only America, but all these neighboring islands that have picked up the ways of America, they gotta go. They going to. They going to. The nuclear missiles is gonna move these islands. All right.
All
Now,
praises.
let's touch on now. Now we gotta touch on Revelation 4. The topic of the show. What's the topic of the show?
Yeah, the fourth beast.
Currency shortages and diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, pull that down. We gonna touch on help them
Now
out.
go down to where it says show start. Go down more towards the bottom of the page.
Man, somebody call Young Jeezy, tell him repent, man. You gotta repent for that thing, man.
Federal Register Post.
That brother know he need
The
to
first
repent.
one is
done
Federal
ran into some
Register
Israelites.
Post.
Tell Freddie Gibbs on them.
Right.
Yeah, right. The federal. Yep, that's it.
All right, so this is something that came up. Is this the original one that we saw? I got it. I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
so this is a PDF. Excuse me, It says Federal Register post on creating employee religious exception request information system. All right. So scroll down. I know it's a little bit small. No. Hold on. Just go. Yeah, just to the article.
Y'all might want to zoom in a little bit.
Scroll. Yeah, right there to the right. Court Services and Offenders Supervision Agency. I believe that's where I want to start. Okay, Privacy Act of 1974, System of Records. If you can start where it says, or you can just read agency. You start at agency.
Agency, Court Services and Offender Supervision Agency. Action, notice of a new system of records. So the summary. Pursuant to the provisions of the Privacy Act of 1774. 1974. As amended,
Here we go.
the Pretrial Services Agency for the District of Columbia, an independent entity established within the Court Services and Offender Supervisions Agency. Hereafter,
So District of Columbia is D.C., Washington, D.C. Go ahead.
All right, says afterwards, it is ensuing a public notice of its intent to create the Pretrial Services Agency for the District of Columbia Privacy Act System of Records, the Employee Religious Exception Request Information System. This system.
Wait. Oh no, you read. Yeah. Bro, what?
Yeah. Hey man, they gotta zoom in. This stuff small, man. I got bad eyes.
Oh, now it's too small.
Yeah, it's been too small.
I got it.
One of y'all was going in.
All right, I got it. All right. This system of records maintains personal religious information collected in response to religious accommodation requests for religious exception from the federally mandated vaccination requirement in the context of a public health emergency or similar health and safety incident, such as pandemic, epidemic, natural disaster, or national or regional emergency.
Okay, scroll back up. Go back to that part. So it says the system of record maintains personal religious information collected in response to religious accommodation requests for religious exception from the federally mandated vaccination requirement in the context of what it's saying is, starting in D.C., there's an agency, CSOSA agency, that is collecting all and recording all of the religious exemption letters that everybody was sending in.
Mm-hmm.
They're collecting all those and keeping track of that. And as we scroll down, you'll see how they're doing it. So this isn't anything that was put out in the public. You didn't get a notice from your employer or nothing like that. You didn't nothing like that. Shout out to Sister Shoshana House Officer Jacob for this article. I'm trying to find out if she posted this or if it was something else and it led me to this. I forget. But I'll scroll down.
The one that was actually, yes, there was something else posted. It was pull it.
Can you read it right, bro?
Hey man, if y'all these brothers zoom in just a little bit. I think
okay,
officer was reading off his computer. It might be
leave him without excuse, man. Right. You're the closest one to the screen.
Hey man, you know.
Yeah, officer.
Video games when I was young, you know.
Hey, loss of sight is
I'm telling you, man.
Result of COVID, right?
We was talking about it before. Yeah, I'm telling you. There's magnesium in the water. I'm losing eyesight.
The story is right below the Federal Register post. Is the bone-chilling unvaxxed Americans. Go out of this.
Oh, so that's what led me to this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, yeah, hold on to this and find that other link.
You see what my third grade teacher did? She would follow the words with her finger, and that would help me to read better. So if you brothers in the AV room follow the words with the cursor, it might help me out a little bit.
He pointed.
I just dropped it down to the bottom. Just go down to the bottom of the page, the ITSR page.
Have mercy with
it's right there.
Follow the bouncing ball, sing along, karaoke.
Yeah. Blow it up for Officer Jake.
Officer Jacob.
Officer Kasha.
Bone-chilling unvaxxed Americans' personal religious information to be collected in new government database.
Go ahead.
One list being created by a small agency is stirring massive fears that information about religion will be misused by the federal government. A notice posted Tuesday in the Federal Register by the Pretrial Services Agency for the District of Columbia said that it intends to create an employee religious exception request. Employee religious exception request information system. This system of records maintains personal religious information collected in response to religious accommodation requests for religious exception from the federally mandated vaccination requirements in the context of a public health emergency or a similar health and safety incident, such as a pandemic, epidemic, natural disaster, or national or regional emergency, and or any other lawful collection of employee information or data that is necessary to ensure a safe and healthy environment for individuals who are occupying PSA facilities, attending PSA-sponsored events, or otherwise engaged in official business on behalf of the agency. The notice read.
So, notice how this was not anything that was like public information and nothing like that at all. Now, y'all help me out. Why would the federal government need to know my religious affiliation for a pandemic?
To knock down Israel. They want to identify who is Israel.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. That's 100% what it is.
Yeah.
Because we sent in and this ain't to put no fear in nobody to not send in letters or do whatever you got to do to not get the jab. The point is for us to identify how all these secret plots that Esau got, we putting it out there. Yo, we know what it is, man. We not simple. We not in the dark. We not out here stuck in the Super Bowl. We ain't stuck in the division championships and all this other stuff, man.
Right.
We see what y'all doing. That's right. Read that.
It says, the system of records will assist the agency in the collection, storing, dissemination, and disposal of employee religious exemption request information collected and maintained by the agency.
You're going to store it and dispose. Okay, go ahead.
As referenced above, it said.
All right, okay, good. Okay, this is what I want. So now go back to the, unless you can blow it up here. That's fine, whatever. Scroll down. No, yeah, whatever. All right. Now, I just want y'all to see where they were able to do this, why they were able to do this, how they were able to do this. Scroll down. This new system will be effective. Read dates to the left.
Dates. This new system will be effective upon publication. New or modified routine uses will be effective February 10th, 2022. Submit comments on or before February 10th, 2022.
All right. So this new system, next month, this new system is going to be in place. Jump over to where it says public participation.
Public participation. You should be aware your entire comment, including your personally identifiable information.
No, just keep it right there. Y'all moving this.
Yep.
Stop moving.
Such as your address, phone number, email address, or any other personal information in your comment may be made publicly available at any time. While you may request to withhold your personally identifiable information from public review, we cannot guarantee we will be.
We cannot guarantee we will be able to do so.
That means no.
They have no intentions of doing that.
Yeah.
All of this stuff will be made public.
Yes.
They have a lot of these places where they didn't just set. You ain't heard nothing in 2, 3, 4 weeks, a month, 6 weeks, whatever. They have gotten up. They're starting in D.C., but trust me, it's gonna end up rolling out nationwide.
Yeah.
And y'all ain't gonna have a clue.
Right. So it says that they're gonna make all of our information available, right? Along with the fact of who we are, that we the Israelites. Remember that, like during the time of Queen Esther and things like that, where they would literally hunt us down to kill us, put bounties on us, and all the things of that nature. This makes it easier for them to do that. Same thing about when you read in the Maccabees when they would kill us for worshiping our God, so on and so forth. Right. They had to have some type of way to identify us, because the scripture tells us to be wise as a serpent, so we know how to move. Right. But if they can just look your name up on Google and find your address, where you go to church and so on and so forth, that makes it that much easier for anybody to do anything to you or your family.
Our employers are going to give it to them for what it is. They're going to get it from our employers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Scroll up. Not all the way, but just right here. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. All right, right there. In order to meet.
In order to meet the requirements of Executive Order 14043 and
So Executive Order 14043, I believe, and I'm gonna have to find it. Y'all can look it up. But Executive Order 14043 was signed, I want to say 2019 or 2020. This is an executive order like during the pandemic. So they get the rushing, they just put laws in there or whatever. For them, they've been thinking about this stuff for Lord knows how long.
Yeah.
But they for us, it's a mad rush. We had to push it all out there right now because there's a mass pandemic.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And then we also pulling this because some of y'all might think this is on some conspiracy theory stuff. Or this is we reading Executive Order 14043 is real.
public information.
It's public information. The PS, the task force recommendations or whatever, the OCSC, I believe it was, agency, all that stuff. These are actual agencies and executive orders, man. Go ahead.
It says PSA is creating this system of records notice to permit the collection of information related to religious accommodations to the vaccination requirements. PSA maintains the employee religious exception request information system in a secured electronic file repository. PSA is committed to providing all staff, employees, detailees, contractors, consultants, interns, applicants, and volunteers, visitors, and occupants of its facilities with a safe and healthy environment to ensure and maintain the safety of all occupants during standard operations and public health emergencies or similar health and safety incidents such as a pandemic.
So they use the pandemic to be able to identify who's who amongst the masses. So we give it to them, and now they're able to say, oh, we know who you are now.
Right.
We got all your information.
Right.
We got your address, phone number.
Yeah.
Who you under, what you worship, who whatever the case is.
Right.
It's it's like what they use in war. I don't know if you could call it this exactly, but it's like a false flag movement, right? You create a situation that causes people to look one direction, and you're really using that total look in that direction to trick the masses. It's kind of like, as a matter of fact, they just brought it up with the whole thing going on with Russia and Ukraine. They said that they believe that Russia has already put Russian bodies and spies inside of Ukraine. They're going to cause some type of uproar to make it look like Russians are being hurt in Ukraine, and then Russia is going to have to answer that call. So with this, hey, we don't want to get everybody sick. Here, let's put the sickness out here. Everybody gets sick. We tell everybody to get healthy. The ones who say, hey, I don't want that vaccine to get healthy, we'll know that that's who that is.
Read this, Revelation chapter 12, verse 17, just so y'all understand where we are. Revelation chapter 12, verse 17. Read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 17. Read out! And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God.
Esau, because this is talking about the dragon is going into Esau. Esau is pissed that they're at the end of their rulership. Right. So they're not going down without a fight. Right. And who are they fighting? The scriptures is telling you who they fighting against. Read that part again.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went
The woman is talking about Israel.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
This right here, these are war tactics right here.
Right.
These are war tactics.
Right.
Read.
Which keep the commandments of God.
And went to make war.
Went to make war.
And went to
make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Who are they warring against? They're not warring against Negroes spitting in Negroes' eyes.
Right.
They're not making war against them.
Right. They're not warring against gender fluidity Negroes.
Hell no.
Right.
They are warring against those that have the power through the scriptures to change the minds of the people and tear your kingdom down from the inside.
Right.
That's who they're making war against.
Right.
Get Job chapter 5, verse 12. Job chapter 5, verse 12. Real quick. Job chapter 5, verse 12.
The book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
He said he disappointed. So that's why I said, yeah, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, you might have hope. Read that again.
Job chapter 5 and verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty.
That's why I said earlier. This ain't to put fear in nobody. It's for you. The scripture says, be not ignorant in any matter, small or great. Read it again.
He disappointed the devices of the crafty.
This is your comfort right here. God said he's going to disappoint the devices of the crafty. Read.
So that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
A part of their enterprise was what you read in Psalms 83 about destroying us as a nation, removing us from our nationality.
That the name of Israel will
That
be
the
no
name
more
of-
in remembrance.
Right.
Another part of that, part of that enterprise is what you see today. All these different underhanded moves that they making to try to identify us.
Right.
Ah, man.
Right.
God said he gonna disappoint that, man.
That's right.
Israel, just hold on, stay in the fight, stay in the faith, man. The Lord said this is a promise.
That's
This is
right.
written.
That's right.
He's going to disappoint their craftiness.
That's right.
All
Hey,
right.
I just want one to support what you're saying, because they're shooting to identify who we are, right? But as Officer is saying, yeah, that's going to be disappointed. Go to Hosea chapter 1 and verse number 10. And give me just the top half of that, of Hosea 10. Yeah, Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. Just that first sentence to the semicolon.
Okay. The book of Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
So they using this to try to number Israel. They trying to find out who the Israelites are in America so they can number and know how many of us that they need to shoot at. But what did God say?
Which cannot be measured nor numbered.
So they ain't going to be able to do it. Their whole enterprise is going to be spoiled. The Most High is not going to let it happen. And even for that remnant of us, because it gave, go back to Revelation 12 and 17. This is a point that's in there.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
With the what?
Remnant of her seed.
With the remnant of her seed. So we're numbered as the sands of the sea, which cannot be numbered.
Yeah.
But only a remnant of us is within that whole number. So they can seek and search all they want to, but God ain't going to allow them to know exactly how many of us it is.
Right.
But watch how we're going to know the remnant.
Which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Because those of us that are keeping the commandments of God and the testimony of Christ are going to be saved out of that. It will not go forth.
Man, that is so comforting. Keep these commandments and live.
Right. That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next point. All right, read that.
U.S. food supply is under pressure from plants to store shelves. Weeks of workers calling in sick add to continuing supply and transportation disruptions, making store shelves harder to fill. The U.S. food system is under renewed strain as COVID-19's Omicron variant stretches workforces from processing. Brother's been calling it Omicron. That's why I had to pause, because it's Omicron.
Hey, some brothers call it the Omarion.
I'm reading for the first time. Like, it's actually Omicron.
Oh, yeah, it's so Mariana, you've been touched.
Right.
So, Omicron's variant stretches workforces from processing plants to grocery stores, leaving gaps on supermarket shelves.
So it's the food supply, the food supply, supply chains for everything. Even where I work, my job, a lot of the equipment and the hardware and stuff that we need for lab builds and stuff like that, bro. You ain't getting nothing for at least 6 months. At least 6 months. And these is multi-billion-dollar companies that we working for that they can't make nothing move. They can't make nothing shake. And these are, this is big stuff that they working on. If they can't make nothing shake, the average Negro on the corner.
Dang. Right. Hey, you know what's funny? It's a food shortage, but Taco Bell just dropped their chicken wings. Bruh, it was just a national chicken shortage, and now Taco Bell got chicken wings, bro.
Them plastic chicken wings.
Hey, he saw the devil.
Plastic.
That's what it is. Plastic chicken wings.
Right.
Some of y'all, which one of y'all ate them?
I started laughing.
Which one of y'all bought it?
My nephew right there. My nephew.
I started laughing. He said,
Yep. Nope. Not that.
Bring me some of them Taco Bell chicken wings. I said, boy, if you don't.
Right.
Dumb as hell.
Hey,
Notice how nobody answered the
hey,
question.
you don't invite me fishing.
I didn't go get none.
I
This is
go
my
get
first
none.
time hearing about it.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah.
Officer Kashad, did you buy the chicken wings?
That's my first time hearing about it. I ain't never heard about it.
That's why he's reading off the brother.
My air, the chicken wings.
Chicken
Hey,
wings.
Officer Jacob, did you buy the chicken wings?
No, sir.
Nope.
Officer Kashad, Karel?
No, sir.
Nope.
Officer
Not at all. Not even interested.
Yeah, all right.
Not even
Hey, let's
interested.
go out of this one at the bottom of that page because there's another link that I put. This one cut us off.
Sister Tabby said, owl shoulders and lizard knees is what y'all
Oh,
eat.
wow.
right.
Brothers eating wolf
Hey,
ankles.
Sister Tabby be having jokes.
Lizard
man.
That's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
All right. Yeah. That one right there.
Did she say owl shoulders?
Owl shoulders.
Chicken
Right.
nuggets.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
man, y'all crazy.
Right. All right. It's not coming up. Oh, they foul.
But that's the thing we dealing with in 2022.
I'll
We
read it
dealing
from-
with food shortage, COVID.
Right.
We dealing with inflation of world wars. We dealing with potential wars. We dealing with all this stuff. And this is just the beginning
Right.
of the new work year,
Right.
2022. So
Fourth beast.
Right? This is this
We'll just read it from here.
All
That's
right.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
I get it from right here on the. Yeah, you got it on
Yes,
there?
sir.
All right.
It says U.S. food supplies under pressure from plants to store shelves. So we cut off on the last one, so I'm going to start where I left off in Arizona. It says, in Arizona, 1 in 10 processing plant and distribution workers at a major produce company were recently out sick. In Massachusetts, employee illnesses have slowed the flow of fish to supermarkets and restaurants. A grocery chain in the U.S. Southeast had to hire temporary workers after roughly one third of the employees at its distribution centers fell ill.
Now, and that's crazy. So, not to play down the whole situation, right? But they said publicly that this variant was a lot more mild. Yeah, it's a lot more contagious,
Right.
but the symptoms are a lot more mild. And then they shortened it to where they said, 5 days now instead of 14? You know, they
Right,
shortened
right,
it 5 days. Right. So it's almost like they made a move to cause it to spread more, right? To spread faster. At the same time, though, a lot of people, they were being told that even though it was only 5 days, that they still couldn't return except for in the 14th day. So even the system created this shortage by having that many workers gone because they're saying, hey, you can come back in 5, but now y'all got to wait 14.
Right.
And they were cutting people money off. They wasn't paying the whole 14.
right.
They were not doing that. So they're creating all of the issues that we're seeing, and it's all for a purpose.
And how we're seeing shortages in the school system is
Yep.
because of
Yep.
a few other of the districts around my district, they actually shut down.
Right.
for-
Louisville just shut down.
Louisville just
Oh,
shut down.
really?
Yeah, so they shut down because there's lack of teachers, lack of subs.
Right.
When I've got my like area directors and the people that you go to get trained, they've been retired from the classroom. I'm seeing them. One of the ladies that she do all the trainings for all the social studies teachers. She said, yeah, I'm Louise today, or I'm Louis today. She's just saying we ain't got no teachers in any of these schools, so today I'm gonna be this teacher.
Right.
And that's what we're having to do.
In the education field, it's easy to make up like that. But the
Right.
manufacturer, you can't call
Yeah.
no retiree
Yeah,
back
no.
to come back and manufacture these vehicles or
Right.
these computers, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's going to be a shortage,
Yeah.
right? Because of the labor, right? And then you got that on top of COVID. Some people are really sick, right?
Yeah, there are some people. Yeah, and let me clear that up.
Yeah.
I don't want to discount those that actually are truly
right.
sick.
No,
Right.
understood, understood.
Yeah.
And you also got schools closing. That means parents got to be at home now, so they can't be at work, right? So all this is causing a total chaos when it comes to merchandise and goods and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So it's a big mess that Joe Biden got to deal with right now, right? But hey, all praise to the Most High. It is what it is. Because we got to accept the destruction of this place for our salvation.
That's right.
Always remember that. Always remember that.
People go.
Hey,
Swing down, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home.
when Trump was in office, he was always doing interviews on the front line. I ain't seen nothing from Joe Biden.
He cussing people out.
He can't hardly hold his head.
Right, he don't know what's going on.
His neck ain't strong
He
enough to
can't
hold his
untwist
head
some
up, let
candy.
alone.
I was just about. You saw that?
Struggling with the candy. He was struggling with
He
that
couldn't figure out how to unwrap the wrapper on a piece of candy, bro. They forgot to cut the feed.
When you see now like that, man, you can't be in the camera.
Hey, where's Camilla Harris? I ain't seen her either.
She quit, bro.
Said she quit. Damn.
Chilling.
Yeah, she quit, bro.
You know, when you used to work at the grocery store, and you just got another job that's going to pay you another $2 for the last 2 weeks.
Right, yeah.
Just be BS.
You just got-
Be in the break room all the time. That's what she do. She in the break room.
Right back.
Yeah, I bet all of the, even though she ain't a Negro woman, I bet all of the Negro woman in her that she thinks she got is coming out right now.
Yeah.
She's somewhere talking
chilling,
cash right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we wanted to kind of preface the next part of the show, starting with that. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Make sure y'all play the right commercials, bro. I already posted them. Y'all will tune in and In the Scripts Reloaded. We'll be right back.
And I am here because I have a special announcement for you. It is almost that time again. Passover 2022. It is right around the corner. I am excited. I hope you are too. The dates are from March 31st through April the 4th. That's March 31st through April the 4th. So make sure you mark your calendar. This year's colors are brown and gold. And make sure you visit originalroyalty.com to get your official garments. One more thing, Israel. Registration details will be available soon. Do not neglect to register. Make haste. And remember, never give up, never give in. Shalom.
The Messiah is a savior and a conqueror.
Joseph, follow me.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I have an important message about your leaders in the Christian church. Your bishops, pastors, reverends, and ministers are all lying to you and leading you straight to damnation. The truth is, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Jesus Christ is a black man with white wool hair, according to Revelation chapter 1, verses 14 and 15. We as the Israelites must keep the commandments in the faith of Christ to receive salvation, as it is written in Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. I've challenged and debated Christian authorities all over the world on these issues. Not one of them has been able to negate this truth. Your pastors have led you astray, worshiping pagan holidays and false gods, just as in the days of old. So join us on our mission to restore the true nation of Israel before the decree goes forth. The work is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Visit our website at israelunite.org or call us at 855-484-4842 to learn more and visit our schools. Shalom.
You're listening to In the Scripts. Reloaded.
All praise to the Most High. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. We back. All right. Pull up the News Nation USA. News Nation USA. News Nation USA.
Y'all got it?
All praise to the Lord.
But with shows like this is, even though we can laugh and joke through them, right? It's important that people really honestly listen. Write down the scriptures. If you're watching, write down the scriptures and go back and look for yourselves and meditate on what's being said. Being able to see this applying to the situation that this scripture going with what you're seeing visually.
Right, because it's actually real out here.
Yes.
It's actually real. And the only thing that keeps us comforted in this chaos is that we know the scriptures.
Right.
We know the scriptures, and we just watching this movie take place.
Right.
We watching the Most High make chess moves.
Right.
Moving that knight. Yeah. Moving that pawn. Like, man, he's setting it up.
Yeah.
But remember the scriptures, he tell the angels, hey, hold back for a minute.
Right. Hey, to your point, a lot of people think these articles and stuff that we pulling are far-fetched. Remember, the scripture says never trust your enemies. When you look at America, America runs like a business or a corporation. Mm-hmm. When you look at a business that's going down, it don't have a meeting and tell all the employees, hey, we're going to be out here tomorrow.
Right.
Nah, they do everything that they can to cover up the sinking of that business.
Right.
To the public and inside. And that's how America runs. Like
when you get to work, it's padlocks on the door. You like, what the hell?
Right. Exactly.
Hey, what company was that just laid off like thousands of workers, and he did it over a Zoom call?
Yeah, I think it's 600.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the company, but nothing that we know on a regular basis. But yeah. And then he took a little sabbatical for a week or two. Yeah. And then he just came back a couple of days ago.
I was so torn up behind it, man. You went on vacation, man. Cut it
He
out.
literally went on vacation for a couple of days, weeks, and then came back.
Yeah, he saved this money.
Yeah, oh, yeah. All right, so pull this up.
It says, the Fed is likely to signal a March interest rate hike and that further policy tightening is coming.
It says further what?
And further policy tightening is coming.
All right, go ahead.
U.S. Federal Reserve Board Chairman Jerome Powell speaks during his renominations hearing of the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee on Capitol Hill in Washington, U.S., January 11th, 2022. It says the Federal Reserve is expected to signal at its meeting this week that it is ready to raise interest rates as soon as March and that it will consider other policy tightening, reversing the easy policies it put in place to fight the pandemic.
So what they finna do is they finna do a 180 with the policies that they've had, with the loose policies that they've had over the last 2 years, 2 years or so. So it's finna be a shift. And the reason I say that is because I was talking to a couple of brothers. I think yourself. No. I was talking to two other officers, not yourself. For them, they was like, oh, well, it'll go up a point. They was talking about interest rates, it'll go up a point, and nothing big, whatever. And then I see this today or yesterday, one of the two, and they talking about not just the 1 point in March, because they're gonna bring it up 4 times this year, but additional policies that they're gonna put in place that they didn't even told us what.
Right.
Additional policies to tighten the wrench, tighten the screw or whatever, to try to reverse and try to dig themselves out of the hole that they put themselves in over the last couple of years.
Because over the last couple of years, money was free. You're talking about interest rates in 1-2%.
Right.
Wells Fargo, the big banks, they could give rates away for like 2%, 2.5%. So you're talking about now this average borrower making $50,000, $67,000 a year. Now he could afford more of a house. You're talking about now $200,000 house, $300,000 house is now affordable to somebody who probably could only afford $150 at best. You see what I'm saying? So now when they raise rates, Now you're looking at, now you're going to afford less house. Right. They said other policies. So I'm thinking about now Fannie and Freddie, other GSEs, government security entities, they're going to start maybe mortgage insurance, you know what I'm saying, different spike and stuff like that to make it even less affordable for you. So that's something to look at. Yeah,
they've already started doing that. Yo, if you get on Zillow, bro, a house that used to rent for $1,500 a month, that mug a good $2,200 now. Right. That's in the DFW, so you can already see that happening.
Because you also be having to pay your mortgage insurance on your loan. So that's gonna hike up. That's gonna make your escrow go up even more. Right. Almost to the point where you like, man, I can't really afford to stay in a 2-bedroom apartment paying $1,800, and I can't get in a house paying $2,500 with my insurance, with my taxes every year, because taxes gonna go up, property taxes gonna go up. Right. The appraisal of your house appraisal, then the property tax is gonna go up. So all this stuff, man, and if you was already at the bottom, sheesh.
Hey, brothers finna be having tabernacles in March, man. For real.
Right. So yeah, officers, it's gonna be kind of harder for young adults coming up now trying to get a loan to get a house.
Because you got to think what caused them to cut rates in the first place. It was a recession, right? So they cut the rates to stimulate.
AB said talking your mic.
Okay. You so you got to think what started the cutting of the interest rates to begin with. The economy was in a recession, so they wanted to stimulate buying, so they cut rates so low. Right. So now the more people can start buying houses. So what did that create? A frenzy on houses. Right, you know, exactly. So but again, you know, with Esau, with all this other stuff going on the earth, you know, they're subsidizing farmers to stop creating crops and lumberjacks. You know what I'm saying? They're burning down rainforests. So now guess what's happening? Now all of these different variables, you looking at the cost of a house is now 20% more this year than you paid for it last year. You know, wood, we talking about the same trees, but now if you get rid of the trees, now you create a demand because the supply is low. So
dang, that's crazy.
Esau is an evil genius, man.
Yo, that's crafty because they is burning down the trees.
Hey, let me touch 1 Timothy chapter 6 and start at verse 5. Because what have we seen slowly over the last 2 decades, and especially in the last decade? We've seen a major uptick in our people, especially being so concerned with money and all of the goods of the earth, right? The riches and treasures of the earth, that they've forgotten where the true treasures are. Mm-hmm. So then Esau is able to put all of this out here, but his plan the whole time is to build it all up and then smack it right back down because he controls it all, right? So start at verse 5.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 5. Read out. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds.
Those that believe only in finances and their money and what they can get out of everything, right? Go ahead.
And destitute of the truth.
But they don't know the truth. They don't understand the Bible or the Word of God. Go ahead.
Supposing that gain is godliness.
Why? Because the preachers for the last 2 decades have been preaching a prosperity doctrine. Right now, you can log on to Facebook or any other social media sites on Clubhouse. And it's tons of rooms that you'll find where they in there speaking Manifestation Monday. And it's like, dude, y'all don't see what's going on, man. Right. They said that they're going to hike this thing 4 times this year. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you had $60,000, but you could pay for this $300,000 house. But what's going to happen, though? When it raises and raises and raises, your $60,000 ain't going to pay for that no more. And there's going to be a whole bunch of homeless people trying to figure out where to live. Why? Because they were chasing the American dream rather than dealing with what God gave us to hold on to.
God forbid you have an adjustable rate mortgage.
Ooh.
This year?
Horrible.
God forbid.
Yeah. You know, they asked Elon Musk, what is his forecast in the next
Pull your mic close.
Yeah, you got to talk straight to
they asked Elon Musk what was his forecast in the next 5-6 months, whatever. He said he predicted.
Hey, to your point, when those interest rates go up and you have that adjustable rate mortgage where it fluctuates, At the end of the year, you're going to get that $3,000, $3,500 balloon payment out the blue because you done forgot or you haven't been paying attention of what's going on with these rates. Now, all of a sudden, you calling your mama, can I borrow some money? I'm about to lose the house. Such and such done lost a job. You done had COVID.
You know, officer, that's those old school arms. They don't even do those type no more. So now,
hold on. Let me finish this.
Oh, you still on the script?
Yeah. So it said that those people thought that godliness was the gain that they were getting, right? Mm-hmm. Keep reading.
From such withdraw thyself.
Come out of her. Come out of that mentality.
Right on.
Verse 6.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
What would the Israelites have? Godliness with contentment. Right. My small, rugged, rough shack. Whatever it is that I have,
I was content.
I was content with what I had. So when it hits, it won't affect you the same way. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of a hedge if you just kept the commandments, right? Mm-hmm. Verse 7.
Verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
Because of keeping the commandments, we ain't as stressed about that same thing happening, but it's going to hit somebody else who was thinking that that great gain was, the worldly treasures, right? But read that last line.
Verse 7.
8.
Or 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
Let us be content with the little that we have. Right. This doesn't have the same effect on us as it's going to have on Negroes that jumped out to live with the Joneses.
All praise. It was something that you said. Excuse me, you want to say?
No, I'm sorry. Hold your point. Say what you was going to say about the adjustable rate mortgages.
Yeah, because I was talking about the term back then. What I was used to was a balloon payment. Right? So you saying now
two different types of loans. Yeah, the balloon.
Go ahead.
You're right. With a balloon at the end of the term, that balance is due, and if you can't make the term, give me my stuff
up off
back.
your house.
Yeah. I want the balance back and then some. So but adjustable rates, they work a little bit different than that. They tied to certain indexes, and depending on what index is tied to, your rate may fluctuate a little bit, but you could ride out an arm right now the way the money is so, depending on what index is tied to, you could ride them out right now. Right. But I still don't trust the devil. I go with the fix.
Hell no. Not now. Because they telling you right here, go back up.
Right there.
Consider other policy tightening, reversing the easy policies that put in place over the last 2 years. I don't trust the devil.
Basically saying we broke, we finna start getting our money back.
Oh, yeah. They got to.
Yep.
They got to. Go to Matthew chapter 6. I'm going to turkey back right off for you, and I'm not going to. When y'all get a chance, let me say this. When y'all get a chance, remember, patience and comfort of the scriptures. Go back and read Matthew chapter 6. You're going to read verse 19 through the rest of the chapter, 19 through 34. We're not going to read all that. Just read. I'm sorry, Matthew 6. I said Matthew's 19. Matthew 6 and 19. Read that.
The book of Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. Read out. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal.
Esau's a damn thief.
That's right.
Yeah, they'll put policies in place to take your take your stuff.
That's right.
Go ahead.
But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
These last days, as we going through Jacob's trouble, if your mind is so fixed on the world, your mind is so fixed on maintaining the estate of this world, and you trying to build up your what's these little weed shops?
CBD.
You're trying to build up your cannabis store, and you want to be you following Boyce Watkins advice and all this other stuff, or you so heavy into politics that you're not in the scriptures, that you're not understanding where we are, that you're not able to go through the scriptures and say, okay, shoot, I need to get that lion spirit in check. Oh, shoot, I need to get that adulterous spirit in check. Oh, shoot, I need to get that, because we're going to read that scripture later. Oh, shoot, I need to get that, y'all help me out with something else. That fornication spirit. Give me something else. Slothful spirit. That drunkard spirit.
Envious.
Drug abusers.
Hatred.
The hatred, the envy. If you do not overcome those spirits in these last days, going through Jacob's trouble, you're going to get caught up. Last verse, and then we're going to move on. jump down to verse 34.
Verse 34.
I'm sorry, read 30 and 34.
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 30.
Sorry, just read 30 for time's sake. Just read 31 and 34.
Verse 31. Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? Verse 34.
No, I'm sorry. Just read on.
Verse 32. For after all these things do the Gentiles seek.
The other nations are finna go crazy.
Right.
The other nations are going to go crazy this year. Reading this, the hikes, the markets is gonna go crazy. It's gonna be crazy dips. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a bear market today and a bull market tomorrow.
What were they doing? About a decade and a half, almost 2 decades ago, when the crash happened? Well, over 2 decades. When the crash happened, all of them bank execs that were blowing their brains out and jumping off buildings,
jumping out of buildings and
jumping
stuff.
to the subway.
Suicide.
Yeah.
2007.
2007.
Yeah, they was murdering themselves.
Yep.
So Esau got a lot of irons in the fire on his wickedness.
You got to hold your mic
Like a
I
rapper.
said Esau
Like a
got a
rapper.
lot of irons in the fire on his wickedness. Like,
Oh, yeah.
think about maybe if they say our currency isn't worth anything. They playing with so many cryptos right now. One day, one crypto is worth this, another one's worth that.
Right.
So when they say the dollar is no longer a dollar, like tonight, my wife she was doing some shopping for Passover, and she went to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, and basically calculated what she was going to pay was so $1 now at the Dollar Tree is now $1.25.
Right.
So,
So they hyped it up. Yeah.
yeah. So what was going to cost her originally $100 now it's like $125.
$125.
You know,
Yep.
so it was like that's the way.
Yep.
That's the way this game is going.
Size moving. Yep. Read on.
For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things.
If you stay in the scriptures, you stay in the commandments, the Lord knows what you need. He's not oblivious to what's going on. Go ahead.
But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Guess what? You are going to get the chief things in life. You might not get the Gucci bag or the, I'll give me some other names, Marc
Louis
Jacobs
Vuitton,
or the Louis
Christian
V,
Dior.
The
the
Yeezys.
Christian Dior. You might not
Jordans.
get that, but guess what? You're gonna get the chief things in life.
Right.
That's right. To be able to survive through Jacob's trouble.
Right.
And guess what? Some of us gonna get touched. Some of us gonna die. It is what it is.
Right.
But if you die in righteousness, guess what? The kingdom is yours. You sealed.
That's
Right.
All right. So now go to the next point that I posted. I said this is next. All right. So Deke pulled this, Deke and Malachi, a couple of weeks ago, the Bretton Woods system and 1944 agreement. So you're just gonna read this first paragraph, and then we're gonna scroll down to where you see hyperinflation.
Gotcha. Bretton Woods system and 1944 agreement. The Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944 established a new global monetary system. It replaced the gold standard with the U.S. dollar as the global currency. By so doing, it established America as the dominant power in the world economy. After the agreement was signed, America was the only country with the ability to print dollars.
The only country with the ability to print dollars. Of course, they put their money on top. So all these other national currencies, they ride up under the American dollar.
Right.
Go ahead.
Where we jumping? Next
agreement.
The agreement created the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, IMF.
Mhm.
U.S.-backed organizations that would monitor the new system.
So Esau monitors the system that they created and put all the, and there was an agreement amongst with the EU, other ally countries, for this system, but they put the entire world under the subjection of this International Monetary Fund. Go ahead.
The Bretton Woods Agreement. The Bretton Woods Agreement was created in a 1944 conference of all the World War II allied nations.
I'm sorry. Let's hold up. Stop. Let me read.
Esau crafty. Why you look at me? Esau crafty because if your system works fine, like what's with the monitoring? That's when you know, like, okay, they monitor to make sure my system is working how I want my system to function. So in that, they have control to, we're going to make sure these people trash, these people ain't got no money, these people good. Esau, yeah, they crafty.
Esau is like a cat with a ball of yarn. We the yarn, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Damn. Read that under the agreement.
Under the agreement, countries promised that their central banks would maintain fixed exchange rates between their currencies and the dollar.
So it says under the agreement, countries promised that their central banks would maintain fixed exchange rates between their currencies and the dollar. Go ahead.
If a country's currency value became too weak relative to the dollar, the bank would buy up its currency in foreign exchange markets.
So the bank that America runs, the IMF, they would buy up the currency, so the foreign exchange rate. They will buy up that currency. Now it's going to explain. Under note, it's going to explain what that means.
No, purchasing currency would lower the supply of the currency and raise its price. If a currency's price became too high, the central bank would print more. This printing production would increase the supply and lower the currency's price. This method is a monetary policy often used by central banks to control inflation.
So Esau has the power to control inflation, not only in America, across the earth.
God.
Across the earth.
The devil the Bible speaks of has the authority to control another country's money and how much it.
America controls the world.
Right.
In the literal sense.
In the literal sense.
I'm not talking figuratively.
Literally.
Figuratively. Literally.
No, I was going to pull a scripture, but
no, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. 2nd Esdras 11. 2nd Esdras chapter 11 and verse number 39 and 40.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 11 and verse 39. Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts?
This is the fourth beast that remains. It is not East Saudi Arabian.
Right.
It is not. This is that fourth beast. Go ahead.
Whom I made to reign in my world.
Because he said in Romans that he allowed them to be raised up the same way he allows Pharaoh to be raised up so that he can make an example of them, but a greater example than Egypt. Go ahead.
That the end of their times might come through them.
Because the end of the times are going to come through Babylon the Great. Verse 40.
Verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past.
Wait. The fourth beast came and did what?
And overcame all the beasts that were past.
So he overpassed Russia. He overpassed China. All those countries.
He took everybody's currency system and said, hey, you make yours fit mine and we can work together.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And had power over the world with great fearfulness.
How? Because I can make all of your currency look like nothing. And the money in your country ain't worth a cow doo-doo.
And this fourth beast is the youngest out of all these major nations.
Yeah.
The youngest one. Wow.
Right.
Yes. It's the little big brother.
Yeah, read.
And over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
Why? Because if I control the money, I can threaten you at any time with the IMF and the currency system to crash your entire system. Nobody can eat and nobody can move.
That's what one of
great wickedness and oppression.
That's what one of them Edomite Rockefeller, one of them said. He said, "Just give me the ability to control the money. And I don't care about nothing else."
Go ahead.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit,
with flat out lies.
Dang.
Yeah.
So the deceit is what y'all see on CNN.
That's right. Yeah.
That's where you get. That's where you see the deceit. So what they'll do is, and I like the real life example that you gave with the with the notes section. Just to give y'all an example, let's say y'all give me a country. Actually, they did it in
Venezuela.
Remember, they did it in Venezuela.
Spain.
No.
Norway. Germany.
No. It was
Zimbabwe.
They did it a million times, but I'm thinking about somebody specific. It was an Arab country, and I forget it. But this was kind of in the midst of, this is 2020, I believe, like the summer or maybe towards the fall of 2020.
Was it Iran?
I think it was Iran.
Yeah, Iran or Iraq, one of the two. They put the sanctions on
them.
Yes.
And what happened is the medical supply.
Right.
Average people couldn't afford medical supplies in the midst of a pandemic.
Yes, right.
That's the type of power. So like I said, yes, they've done it in other places, but I'm talking about up to right now, when you're talking about in the midst of a worldwide, a global pandemic, and you can't afford, or at least at that time, you couldn't afford medical supplies.
Right.
And it was a flip of a switch.
Right.
This wasn't no 2-year long deal.
Yeah.
This is about a flip of a switch. They put them sanctions in place, hit the economy. So, for example, let's say if you want to raise, it says, read that first sentence.
Members of the Bretton Woods system agreed to avoid trade wars.
I don't know. What are you talking about? Purchasing currency.
Oh, back in note.
Oh, okay. Purchasing currency would lower the supply of the currency and raise its price.
All right. So purchasing currency would lower the supply of the currency and raise its price. So I'm gonna give you an example with Iran. I don't know, whatever their money's called. Let's call it the
DAR.
The DAR. Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna call it.
I've heard that before, though.
The DAR. So America buys up a bunch of DARs. So if you start pulling money out of the country and it's scarce now, then that artificially raises the price, raises the price or the value
of
the DAR. Right.
Because they can't print no money under this agreement. Because
Yeah, they can't print money on America.
Damn.
Yeah. And America controls the exchange rate too.
Wow.
So when you got buying and sell, all the trade, the traffic that's going on between these countries.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Hey, that's why I come. Go ahead, officer.
I was gonna say that's straight up like Monopoly. You know, you got so many 20s, you got so many 50s, you got so many 10s.
Right.
They play Monopoly in every country.
Yep.
That's why the controlling aspect is heavy. Right now, I know you guys is watching what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, right? So really, all America and the UE has to do is put those heavy sanctions on Russia because they control everything that moves abroad, right? So that's better than shooting you down with missiles or whatever. I can shoot you down by telling my buddies that's in the EU, put these sanctions on them. We gonna make them hurt. They gonna feel this. That's the power of money. Right. That's the power of money. That's what money does. This is a defense.
Hey, low-key, that's worse than just dropping a bomb, because when you take their money and their resources, they die slowly.
Exactly.
That's
So
torture.
that's what Russia is up against. That's what Vladimir Putin is up against. So America, like, we can give it to you like this, or we can give it to you like that. How you want it? Because you're going to get it if you keep on clowning. We see you at that border. I'm going to send about 85,000 of these men to show you who's the big little brother. I know I'm younger than you, but I'm running things right now. That's what's going on. Watch and pray. Watch and pray.
Yep. So the Iranian dollar is called a rial, RIAL, rial or rial, whatever, and it's 0.00024% of the dollar, the American dollar. That's not even a penny.
We go over there.
Nowhere close.
Less than a penny.
Less than a penny.
It's what is that? A 10,000th of a penny? Wow. 10,000th of a penny.
We million reals over there. Million reals. Millionaires.
Bro,
Scroll down. Brothers gonna start moving.
Hey, but here's the flip side.
Much wicked oppression.
Here's the flip side. If the money, if they print so much money, then the whole world gonna go down. The whole world depends on America right now. That's what's going on. No, you fine.
Scroll up. Why the dollar?
Why dollars? Right?
Yep.
Why dollars? The United States held 3/4 of the world's supply of gold.
The United States of America.
Damn.
It says held, but I know that's BS. 3/4, 75% of the world's supply of gold.
The world,
Craig. Hey, but you know that that's BS though. That's what they say. But I think Deacon Brown got an article where some nations was demanding that they produce that gold and show it forth, and they wasn't able to do it.
Esau said, "I ain't finna show y'all my."
Yeah, they ain't.
Esau like, why? For what?
Right.
Damn.
Shit, I crash the economy, man. What the hell you talking about? Man, shut the hell up.
No other currency had enough gold to back it at a replacement. The dollar's value was 1/35 of an ounce of gold. Bretton Woods allowed the world to slowly transition from a gold standard to a U.S. dollar standard. Damn. So they're saying, Esau took all the gold and forced every nation's hand and said, you got to play ball with my dollar because you ain't got the gold to back your money anyway.
Right.
Damn.
An ounce of gold, and you got to cut it down in 35 ways, and yours is just one piece out of the 35 compared to what I got.
Oof.
Compared to the 3/4 of that hole that I got.
Oh, my God.
They Obadiah for real.
Scroll down.
The thief.
Okay, yeah, keep scrolling down. Y'all can read the rest of this on your own for time's sake. Hold up. Okay, yeah, scroll up a little bit.
The subtitle, why agreement was needed. Wow.
Hold on. Yeah, read that, why the agreement was needed, and then you're going to read note.
Why agreement was needed. Until World War I, most countries were on the gold standard. However, they cut the tie to gold so they could print the currency needed to pay for their war costs.
Wait, hold up. Most countries were on the gold standard. However, they cut the tie to gold so they could print the currency needed to pay for their war costs. Go ahead.
This inflow of currency caused hyperinflation. As the supply of money overwhelmed the demand after the war, countries returned to the safety of the gold standard.
Now read hyperinflation.
Hyperinflation caused the value of money to fall so dramatically that, in some cases, people needed wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. Sound like Venezuela.
Things.
Exactly.
Artificial inflation, and then you had to have a wheelbarrow full of money in order to buy a loaf of bread.
Wow.
Get that in Genesis. Y'all know what I want. Esau's blessing. 27. Read it when you got it.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 40. And by thy sword,
Start at 39.
verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve.
Hold up. Because it said, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Esau can literally go wherever they want in the earth, because if you take their dollar here, it's worth this much more. So that's why you got Esau. They be vacationing to Dubai and all these different places.
Right.
Yep.
Verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live.
So they'll tank their own economy to pay for wars. Then you got artificial inflation or hyperinflation to where the average of us can't buy a loaf of bread. If Esau at that time, and we talking about 1920s, if they couldn't buy a loaf of bread at that time, what the hell you think we was doing?
And Esau was given this blessing, this gift. So when they say other countries went into debt because of a war, you know who they in debt with. Esau like, yeah, I supplied you with the weapons that you need. I supplied you with this, with the loan, so you owe me. So they making money on the front end, then the back end.
Right, because at that time, remember, America was, for the clothes that everybody was having to make, America was the exporter of cotton and other raw materials being, from here in America. America was the largest exporter of steel, of the different, you remember the whole steel
industrial period.
Yeah, the industrial period happened in America. So a lot of that stuff became, manufactured.
And then shipped off to all these other countries that were lagging behind that industrial revolution.
And, I mean, of course, there was that back end, the dealing with Little Big Brother over in Europe. You know what I'm saying? They were dealing together. But, yeah, I can see that.
So money became backed off gold, then it backed off manufacturers and trading. Now, you don't have that now. Because China right now has all the goods and the merchandise right now.
Oh, we're going to get that.
Right on. Bring it out.
We're going to get it in a minute. Y'all in the spirit tonight.
All praises.
Go ahead. By thy sword.
And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Read the top of verse 41.
Verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob.
And Esau hated Jacob.
That's right.
This is the dragon that we read about in Revelation, the 12th chapter.
Yeah.
Esau hating the woman. The woman is Israel. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, your forefather is Jacob. The so-called white man today, his forefather is Esau. Edom, the Idumeans.
That's right.
So the same thing, what you read about that hatred between the hatred that Esau has for Jacob in
Ezekiel 35.
Is it the perpetual hatred?
Ezekiel 35.
The perpetual hatred. Where do you think that started? We reading about it right here. It started in the womb.
Yeah.
It started from the womb.
That's right.
All right. Go. I think I'm done on this. Like I said, it's a good article. You read the rest on your own. So go to the next one. Let me see what the next one is. We can go right into that. I think that's the next one. Actually, no. Hold up. Do the Great Depression. And I thought I posted that other video about the 2007-2008 crash, but maybe I didn't.
The Great Depression, 5-minute history lesson.
We're not going to do our 5 minutes. I think this is like the first 3 minutes. I just want y'all to get an idea of, basically we kind of putting the pieces together of various economic crashes that have happened here in America, so that y'all can see the warning signs. Y'all can see the clues between those depressions, those crashes, those economic recessions, and you can see what's going on right now and how it leads up and how quick it moves. All right? Go ahead, play that.
In the world of finance, we are often quick to forget the tragedies of the past, yet valuable lessons are to be had by exploring their causes and effects. After all, in a world of ever-changing rules, products, and services, history is the one constant that can guide us through the ambiguity. So let's take a 5-minute history lesson on today's Plain Bagel. The year is 1918, and after 4 years of conflict, the First World War is finally over. America has emerged as one of the victors, and is about to enter a period of economic prosperity and cultural change known as the Roaring Twenties. Things start off pretty strongly, as the post-war economy is seeing a boost. Troops are back from the war, delayed projects are starting up again, and hey, more women are entering the workforce, meaning that more people have a salary to spend, and companies are looking for a piece of the money pie. So in 1920, we see our first radio advertisement. And it seems to be working. Recent inventions like the vacuum cleaner and the electric wash machine are becoming hot commodities. And hey, since things are looking pretty good.
Pause real quick. So you see how there was money just free flowing. Thank you. Free flowing in the economy, right? Go ahead.
Of the money pie. So in 1920, we see our first radio advertisement. And it seems to be working. Recent inventions like the vacuum cleaner and the electric wash machine are becoming hot commodities. And hey, since things are looking pretty good, the banks are giving out loans to everybody, meaning that even more people can buy the latest and greatest.
Banks are giving out loans left and right. Banks giving out loans left and right. Go ahead. What's up?
Sounds similar.
Yeah. They lied in that picture, though, because wasn't no black people getting no loans. They were burning our towns down in 1920. Just be honest. They burned us up in 1920.
You know.
Go ahead, yeah.
Hey, hold
It
on,
seems
real
to be.
quick. Because one thing they said is everybody get money, and they said now companies want a piece of that pie. So guess what? Prices was going up on things. More products was coming out, just like you see today.
Recent inventions like the vacuum cleaner and the electric wash machine are becoming hot commodities. And hey, since things are looking pretty good, the banks are giving out loans to everybody, meaning that even more people can buy the latest and greatest gadgets. Before you know it, everyone's getting a car too, Henry Ford's T-model to be exact, and with it, life is becoming a lot easier. Now you can do the Charleston across town and be home for your evening smoke. All of this is making companies very rich, and the average American is making good money themselves. In fact, people are starting to look for things to do with their newfound wealth. Buy another laundry machine? Nah. A new car? Don't need it. Oh, wait, what about investing? Yeah, that's it. After all, why be rich when you can be more rich? So the stock market becomes a pretty popular practice, and with so many people buying, investors are finding it very easy to make money on stocks. Soon enough, everyone thinks they're 1920s Warren Buffett, and I mean everybody. Cooks, shoe shines, taxi drivers, you name it, everyone is trading like a Wall Street tycoon, pouring their life savings into whatever security is hot that day. In fact, there's so much money to be made, people are taking out loans to invest even more, and banks are happily collecting the interest. By the way, those same banks are looking to invest more money too, and soon enough they begin.
Pause real quick, because obviously you made the point just a second ago. We wasn't getting none of this at that time.
None of that.
So you see them building up their wealth, and what are we doing?
Right.
Go ahead.
Is hot that day. In fact, there's so much money to be made, people are taking out loans to invest even more, and banks are happily collecting the interest. By the way, those same banks are looking to invest more money too, and soon enough they begin borrowing money from customer bank accounts to buy stocks. But since things are looking up, no one's noticing, and overall things are going pretty well in America, financially anyway, and as we experience flapper culture, prohibition, and the rise of jazz music, people are making good money on the markets. By 1929, America's total wealth has doubled, and investments are up 218% since 1922. In fact, stocks are rising so fast, companies are having a hard time keeping up and justifying their stock price. Wait, that's not good. And hold on, production actually seems to be slowing down. Henry's not making as many T-models, and people aren't buying as many things. It looks like companies may have overestimated their growth, and now wages are falling. And all that easy to access debt? Well, people have taken out quite a bit, and interest rates are starting to rise.
Pause it real quick. So with all that easy access to money, All of the easy access to loans, banks just giving out money left and right.
Stimmy.
Huh?
No, it's the free money that we've been seeing in these last few years.
He said stimulus check.
Stimmy.
He's being black officer.
Oh, okay.
Right.
He said stimmy, but he was talking about the stimulus.
Yeah, you're being black right now.
Right. So with that, they said, go back a little bit because I lost my point, man. Officer Kashada, I don't know what the hell wrong with him. Lord have mercy. Play it.
And so
Officer
fast.
Jacob, you look like you got something you want to say.
They're having a hard time keeping up and justifying their stock price.
Yeah, just the way the whole thing started. You know, the commentator said history is the greatest indicator of the future. So what we're looking at is trends. And you can see every 7 to 10 years, you see the economy goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. Kind of reminds me of Egypt when Joseph went to Egypt and told Pharaoh famine's coming. You know, he said, so you go stock up for the next 7 years, stock up, store your house so you can make it through the famine. We know spiritually what's coming. They know economically what's coming because the game is fixed for them. So this is what he's showing you right here. Like, follow the trend, just like he says now. Banks are giving out loans. Now, guess what they're going to do? We just read an article. They're going to start raising rates. They're going to start tightening the screws. You know, so where's the money going? They pocketing it. They liquidating it. They putting it in their pockets. They doing what they need to do.
Hey, another thing with this too, because it talked about how Esau, they invested in the 1920s. But Jake was getting stimulus. Jake wasn't investing in the damn thing.
Hell no.
About the Escalade.
Well, think about this. Think about this. Since you said that, remember Black Wall Street came up out of that in 1929. Right? And we still, imagine what we'd be at today if they wouldn't have bombed us with dynamite. We would have all caught that vibe and been all moving to cities like, anyway, I just want to make that point. Let's keep playing.
You're right.
So when black people was thinking they was getting over with the PPP loan stuff, like, many
IRS finna tax y'all.
Hey, they wasn't investing no
He saw in the
PPP
back,
loan.
like, we giving y'all this money because we already know what's going to happen on this back end.
Right. But today they wasn't investing that in no Black Wall Street, though.
Right. Let's finish this out. So Officer can make his point.
In fact, stocks are rising so fast, companies are having a hard time keeping up and justifying their stock price. Wait, that's not good. And hold on, production actually seems to be slowing down. Henry's not making as many T models, and people aren't buying as many things. It looks like companies may have overestimated their growth, and now wages are falling. And all that easy to access debt? Well, people have taken out quite a bit, and interest rates are starting to rise. But wait a minute, the stock market is still up. That doesn't seem right. Even though the economy is looking worse for wear under the hood, investors are more or less ignoring these problems and buying and selling as if everything were exceptional. Sure, we see a few shakeups and close calls, but things are still largely positive, and people are still gambling on the markets. But over time, the voice of reason is getting louder, and investor uncertainty is increasing, which brings us to October 24th, 1929. Black Thursday, as it's called, the theorized start of the Great Depression. Investors have been royally spooked, with headlines reading,
"Prices of stocks crash in heavy liquidation."
And when markets open, they start to sell. And I mean sell. 12.9 million shares to be exact. A new record. And at opening bell, things fall 11%.
You can stop it. The rest of it is just stock market stuff. Black people don't even be in the stock market.
Right.
But the point is, there were certain signs that they mentioned that happened way before you actually saw the Great Depression, before it actually hit rock bottom.
Right.
All right. Yes, I'm also.
No.
Something that I saw up in that kind of reminded me what Deacon brought out a few weeks back when he said the companies weren't able to justify the price of their stock and why it was so high. Is the same thing that he was talking about a few weeks back with the Bitcoin. One, he was like, they don't even know who the creator is, so on and so forth. But then with if you don't know who the creator is, how is Bitcoin up at $70,000? Who determines and so on and so forth like that? So that would be a modern day sign. Us looking like, well, this is uncertain.
Right.
Yep.
So was the economy? Go ahead, officer. Go ahead. You was gonna say, was the economy ready for COVID? Because that's what we're up against now. Because it's like a certain stoppage because of COVID. Now you got COVID. Now you got less transportation, less goods in stores. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now you're getting that same type of vibe. You got getting the stoppage, and now when you go to the banks, it's going to be a whole lot of high interest rates, and they might not want to get that money away because they using that money so they taking your money and they investing it in something else. Really, that's why you got your money in the bank. They using it to do what they do.
That's a good question, right? But when you look at it overall, so remember, they were showing that people were investing and making a lot of money in the stocks, and then it said that the banks, and it said through envy, without saying through envy, that the banks then started pulling money from your accounts, and then they started
Doing the
investing
same
because
thing.
they wanted to get in on it, right?
Yeah.
Well, the bankers never went poor. They never got poor. They just grew in their power across the globe. So when we look right now at the COVID situation, they just reported that they made what, like $600 billion off of out of COVID so far.
Well, what, one of those drug the ones who produces the vaccine? They made a lot of money.
You read that, officer? They made something like $600 billion off of the vaccines.
Big banks.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I'm sure the banks are behind it because the whole thing is, it's a small group, big money movement, right?
Yeah.
We all part of this, make this move. So not on nothing conspiracy, but they just used something else at this time. You know, back then they used something else. This time they used this. But either way, they had to create a pandemic and a scare.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In order to cipher and suck the money out without it making it look like they was doing it.
Because I'm going to tell you, in 2008, your 401k, it tanked.
Yeah.
It tanked.
Yeah.
They called that the Great Depression.
Right.
And if it wasn't for Obama, this country, Obama, in a way, came through like Joseph. Because Egypt was in shambles.
He was the black savior. That's what he
he was the black savior for white folks. Well, he was the black savior for white folks, not for the Israelites.
Yeah, right. For white, because he played the same role. Remember, all he did was printed more money, and he began giving stimulus packages
to big
the
banks. He was giving them bridge loans,
Right.
and so a lot of middle class Americans, so-called Americans is white folks. Y'all black folks ain't really Americans.
And
y'all African.
Mitch McConnell
But Mitch
just-
McConnell, that's another show. That's another topic.
Right.
But the big banks was giving the stimmies. So the middle class people was like, hold up, we hurting too. Well, it's bigger than y'all. This is bigger than y'all. Because this right here, this is the whole world, because America controls the whole world. And if our banks go down, then the whole world goes down. So we're going to start giving it to the big banks and to the big companies.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Fortune 500 companies like GM, Ford, American Airlines, and those, Chase Banks, all that.
Too big to fail.
Too big to fail type thing, because it was like a domino effect all across America and the whole entire world. And so what officer was bringing up earlier, why America's money is backed, everybody's money is backed off America's money. Just imagine if America collapsed, what would have happened? Maybe little Kim, meaning Kim Jong-il, maybe he thinking like, maybe he thinking like, I don't want to be a part of this because America is controlling everything, and I don't want to be a part of that because we independent. And so America like, hey, y'all got to come up on our wing.
Yeah, that's
I know I went on a little rant, but
You said maybe. Let me get a scripture on that maybe. Let me get Isaiah 47 and 10. I think this is a good maybe.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 47 and verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness.
And everybody trusted in this man's wickedness. All nations, especially Jake, they love this man. But more than that, he trusts in himself. Read.
Thou hast said, none seeth me.
Because he think he's slick. He getting away with everything. Can't nobody tell him nothing. He tell everybody how it go on the earth. Read.
Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee.
Because right now, his technology, he running war, he's ruling the earth. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Job 9:24. Read.
And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
Whoa, because he think he's God.
God.
Right now, this man, he swears that he's God, but God, the Most High got a trick for him. Keep reading.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth.
Because those other 10 heads, those other 9, they rising up, ain't they? They rising up. Read.
And mischief shall fall upon thee.
They getting fed up. Read.
Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly.
It will be no defending this. Read.
Which thou shalt not know.
So, hey, I jump down straight to 14.
Verse 14. Behold, they shall be as stubble, and fire shall burn them.
So we already know the end of the game for him.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's words of comfort for me.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Yep.
Make me feel warm and
Stop
fuzzy.
right there. I mean,
Hot cocoa and marshmallow.
right. You know, the Grinch. You know, Most High coming back like the Grinch. The Grinch who stole America.
I play this.
Verse 15 on that.
Verse 15. Thus shall they be unto thee, with whom thou hast labored,
Read.
even thy merchants.
So these other nations is going to be the same way as the ones that fall under the IMF. Read.
From thy youth they shall wander, every one to his quarter. None shall save thee.
So when the nations start to see America fall, China not going to come over here and say,
Right.
no, they're going to get their judgment too.
No, sir.
Right. That's heavy. That's heavy right
That was
there.
a good maybe, huh?
Yeah.
Right. That's a good maybe. I was being facetious when I said that, though. You know that, right?
I'll pull it after this. Go ahead, play that video.
Here's what.
From December 2007 to June 2009, the United States suffered an extended
Oh,
economic
I'm sorry. Hey,
downturn.
pause it real quick. Let me tell y'all what the hell y'all even watching. So we're gonna look at the Great Recession of 2008. It's really between 2007 and 2009. But again, look at the very short timeline, the very short window that it takes in order to see a great recession, economic collapse, depression. We're not talking about 50 years.
Yeah.
We talking about 2-3 years max. All right, play that.
From December 2007 to June 2009, the United States suffered an extended economic downturn that came to be known